Did you know that many adults over 60 begin to notice small changes in their memory or vision at night? It's more common than we realize, and it's not simply just aging. Sometimes, it's a gentle sign that the brain and eyes may not be getting the nourishment they need while the body rests. You might wake up in the morning and feel that the world looks slightly softer or less sharp than it did before. Or perhaps while driving home in the evening, the streetlights seem to glow with faint halos, making you slow down and focus a little more carefully. These moments can feel unsettling, but they are also signals. And signals are helpful. They remind us that the body is always communicating, always asking for a little more care and support. The medical establishment, with all its good intentions, often shrugs this off. They tell you it is just the inevitable wear and tear of time, the standard price of admission for a long life. They might prescribe you stronger glasses, suggest you start writing things down more often, or perhaps mention a medication that comes with a laundry list of side effects longer than your arm. But what if I told you they were looking at the problem entirely backwards? What if those symptoms, the forgotten names, the misplaced keys, the struggle to read a menu in a dim restaurant, weren't signs of permanent decay, but rather a red flag from your biology screaming for specific raw materials, doctor here? And today I want to share a discovery that challenges the narrative of decline. We are going to talk about how to reignite your brain and shield your vision using 4 specific powerhouses found in the produce aisle. Ingredients that work synergistically to repair your neural pathways and retinal cells during your body's most critical maintenance window, deep sleep. Go ahead and hit subscribe if you care about staying sharp, because what we are discussing today is the difference between watching your golden years fade into a blur and living them with high-definition clarity. To understand why this matters, let me tell you about Linda. Linda is a 74-year-old retired history teacher who came to me terrified. She wasn't scared of dying. She was scared of living without her independence. She told me, "Dr. Porter, I feel like I'm losing my mind by degrees. I walk into a room and forget why I'm there. I can't drive at night anymore because the glare blinds me. My doctor says I'm just getting older, but I feel like I'm disappearing." Linda's story is not unique, but her recovery was extraordinary. We didn't put her on experimental drugs. We didn't schedule surgery. We simply changed what she ate in the hours leading up to bedtime. You see, your brain and your eyes are high-energy organs. They consume a massive amount of fuel, and they produce a massive amount of metabolic waste. During the day, you are building up toxins, oxidative stress, and cellular debris. It is only when you sleep that the glymphatic system, your brain's waste clearance plumbing, opens up to flush that trash out. But here is the secret the industry ignores. That repair process requires specific nutrients to work. If you go to sleep with a nutrient deficit, the repair doesn't happen. The trash builds up. The fog settles in. The macula degenerates. We put Linda on a specific rotation of 4 leafy greens, introducing them into her evening meal. And within 6 weeks, she wasn't just driving at night again. She was back to teaching tutoring sessions twice a week, with a memory sharper than students half her age. So, what are these 4 greens? And more importantly, how do you eat them to unlock their full therapeutic potential? Let's start with the first one, the one you probably have in your fridge right now, but are using completely wrong: spinach. Now, before you roll your eyes, understand that spinach is not just a salad base. It is a neurological armor. Spinach is the premier source of 2 critical carotenoids, lutein and zeaxanthin. Think of these compounds as internal sunglasses for your eyes and brain. When you consume them, they accumulate in the macula, the center of your retina responsible for detailed vision. They literally absorb excess blue light and neutralize the free radicals that destroy your vision. But the connection goes deeper. A study from the University of Illinois found that lutein levels in the eye correlate directly with lutein levels in the brain. Seniors with higher lutein levels had the neural processing speed of people 20 years younger. When you eat spinach, you are essentially depositing currency into your cognitive bank account. However, there is a catch. These nutrients are fat-soluble. If you eat raw spinach in a smoothie with no fat, you absorb almost none of it. You are flushing the medicine down the toilet. To make it work, it must be gently wilted and paired with a healthy fat, which we will discuss in the protocol later. But shielding the eyes is only the first step. We need to actively repair the nervous system, and that brings us to our second powerhouse, kale. Now, Kale has become trendy, but for the wrong reasons. We don't eat kale because it's popular. We eat it because it is the king of a compound called sulforaphane. Sulforaphane is a miracle molecule that triggers the NRF2 pathway. This is your body's master switch for antioxidant defense. When you activate NRF2, you aren't just fighting inflammation, you are turning on the genes that repair damaged cells. For seniors, this is critical because kale is also loaded with vitamin K, a nutrient essential for the synthesis of sphingolipids. These are the fats that make up the myelin sheath, the protective insulation around your nerves. Think of your nerves like electrical wires. If the insulation frays, the signal gets lost. That's the tip of the tongue moment where you can't find the word. Kale helps rebuild that insulation, ensuring the signal travels fast and true. Linda hated the taste of kale. Helps rebuild that insulation, ensuring the signal travels fast and true. Linda hated the taste of kale initially, but when we showed her how to prepare it to reduce the bitterness and unlock the sulforaphane, it became her medicine of choice. Yet, even with protection and repair, we face another enemy: stress and tension that prevents deep sleep. You cannot heal if you do not sleep. This is where the third green comes in, one that often gets overlooked: Swiss chard. Swiss chard is unique because it is a powerhouse of magnesium and syringic acid. Magnesium is the relaxation mineral. It calms the central nervous system, relaxes the muscles, and prepares the body for deep, restorative sleep. But syringic acid is the real secret weapon here. It helps inhibit an enzyme that breaks down carbohydrates into simple sugars. Why does that matter for your memory? Because blood sugar spikes and crashes in the middle of the night are a primary cause of waking up at 3 a.m. When your blood sugar crashes, your brain panics, releases cortisol, and wakes you up. By stabilizing your blood sugar with the unique fiber and acid profile of Swiss chard, you ensure that your brain stays in the deep delta wave sleep, where memory consolidation happens. It is during this deep sleep that your brain takes the information from the day, the names, the dates, the events, and moves them from short-term storage to long-term memory. Without Swiss chard to guard your sleep quality, you are trying to save a file on a computer that keeps crashing. But now, we must address the most critical component: the missing link. You can have all the lutein, all the sulforaphane, and all the magnesium in the world, but if those nutrients cannot get to the tiny capillaries in your eyes and the deep recesses of your brain, they are useless. You need a delivery system. You need the fourth green, the one that most people cut off and throw in the trash: beet greens. Yes, the leaves on top of the beets. These are arguably the most potent part of the plant, yet we discard them. Beet greens are one of the highest natural sources of dietary nitrates. When you consume these nitrates, your body converts them into nitric oxide. Nitric oxide is a vasodilator. It signals the smooth muscle inside your blood vessels to relax, widening the arteries and increasing blood flow. As we age, our blood vessels stiffen and microcirculation to the eyes and brain diminishes. This is a major cause of vascular dementia and vision loss, simply a lack of blood flow. Beet greens act as a natural opener of these pathways. They widen the highways so that the lutein from the spinach, the sulforaphane from the kale, and the magnesium from the chard can actually reach their destination. Without beet greens, you are fueling a car with a clogged fuel line. With them, you are turbocharging the delivery of nutrients to the tissues that are starving. This is the secret synergy. It's not about eating one, it's about the combination. So how do you do this? How do you implement this without spending your entire life in the kitchen? I don't want you to become a chef. I want you to become efficient. The protocol we used for Linda, and the one I recommend to you, is the nightly rejuvenation rotation. It is simple. You don't need to eat all four every single night. You simply need to ensure you are getting a serving of one of these greens. With your evening meal, rotating through them, always prepared in a way that maximizes absorption. Here is the golden rule: never eat them raw, and never eat them alone. Raw leafy greens contain oxalates and tough cellular walls that your aging digestive system struggles to break down. You want to lightly sauté these greens. Heat breaks down the cell walls, releasing the nutrients. You want to sauté them in a high-quality fat, specifically extra virgin olive oil or coconut oil. Remember the lutein in spinach and the vitamin K in kale? They are fat-soluble. You steam them and eat them. Plain, you absorb about 10% of the nutrients. If you sauté them in olive oil, absorption shoots up to 80% or 90%. That is a massive difference. Here is the routine I gave Linda. On Mondays and Tuesdays, she has spinach sautéed with garlic and olive oil. This loads her system with the vision-protecting carotenoids. On Wednesdays and Thursdays, she switches to kale, perhaps braised with a little lemon juice to cut the bitterness. This triggers the NRF2 repair pathway. On Fridays, it's Swiss chard, helping her wind down from the week and ensuring deep sleep. And on the weekends, she buys fresh beets, cuts off the tops, and sautés those beet greens to flush her system with nitric oxide, opening up the blood flow to ensure everything she ate during the week gets where it needs to go. It is a simple, rhythmic cycle that aligns with your biology. The results for Linda were not immediate. Biology takes time. But by week 3, she noticed the halos around streetlights diminishing. By week 6, she realized she hadn't forgotten a name in days. She felt a sense of resilience returning. And that is what I want for you. This isn't just about food. It's about reclaiming your life. It is about refusing to accept the narrative that you are destined to fade away. Your body is a miraculous machine, capable of incredible repair if you just give it the right tools. These 4 greens, spinach, kale, Swiss chard, and beet greens, are those tools. They are the armor, the repair crew, the sedative, and the delivery system. They are the difference between a brain that is starving and a brain that is thriving. Imagine waking up 6 weeks from now. You open your eyes, and the room is sharp. You get out of bed, and you feel rested, truly rested, because your blood sugar stayed stable all night. You sit down to do a crossword puzzle, and the answers flow effortlessly. You feel confident getting behind the wheel of your car at dusk. That is not a fantasy. That is the biochemistry of proper R. Nutrition is not complicated. It is not loud. It does not demand attention. It simply works quietly in the background, restoring what has slowly been drained over the years. When you begin feeding your brain what it truly needs, you may not notice a dramatic change overnight. Instead, you may notice something subtle. A clearer thought, a sharper memory, a morning where your eyes adjust a little faster to the light. These small improvements are powerful. They are signs that your body is responding. So here is something simple I invite you to do. The next time you step into a grocery store, pause for a moment. Instead of reaching for another quick fix, walk calmly toward the produce section. Let your eyes rest on the fresh greens. Notice their color, their texture, their life. Choose 4. Bring them home. Not as medicine, not as a chore, but as nourishment. Tonight, add 1 to your meal. Tomorrow, try another. Begin a gentle rotation. Stay consistent for 30 days. No perfection required, just commitment. Many people have lived so long feeling slightly foggy, slightly tired, slightly strained, that they have forgotten what true mental clarity feels like. But your brain remembers. Your body remembers. It is simply waiting for support. It is time to reconnect with that clarity. It is time to softly reignite the brightness in your thinking. It is time to give your eyes the care they deserve. And as you begin, I would love to walk this journey with you. If this message feels helpful, share it with someone you care about. Sometimes the greatest gift we can give is knowledge that empowers. And tell me, which green will you begin with tonight? Will it be spinach, steady and familiar? Kale, rich and deeply nourishing? Chard, gentle and balancing? Or beet greens, vibrant and refreshing? Comment below and let me know. Every story matters. Every small step matters. Here at Vital Health, we believe real healing does not come from extreme measures. It comes from daily. Real transformation does not happen through pressure or perfection. It happens through small, consistent choices. Choices made with awareness, patience, and care. The kind of choices that honor your body instead of fighting against it. Your health is not out of reach. It has never left you. It may feel distant at times, but it is still there, waiting for your attention, waiting for nourishment, waiting for you to believe that improvement is possible. Your clarity is not gone. It has not disappeared with age. Sometimes it is simply dimmed, like a light turned low. And lights can be turned up again. Your body is still capable of renewal. Every single day, your cells repair. Your brain adapts. Your eyes respond to support. The human body was designed with resilience built into it. It only needs the right environment to thrive. So begin softly. Begin without pressure. Begin with intention. Take 1 step tonight. 1 meal, 1 choice, 1 small act of care for yourself. and then repeat it tomorrow. Because the path back to sharp thinking and clear vision is not dramatic. It is steady, it is gentle, and it starts with a simple decision. Start gently. Start intentionally. Start tonight. Herb.